Okay, so this is a brand new VPS. I've got the IP address and everything else from the website. I'm just going to show you that on the screen here. So there's the details. And to show the password, that's the default password. And what I want to do now is log in with the default password on remote desktop. That's the only access you got to start off with. Okay, here's my list of things that need to be done. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the password. And add a few more users maybe. Management, users, administrator, and I'm going to make it our default, which is capital saver at 247, saver at 247. Okay, so that's done. Okay, now to be safe, to get additional access, let's make the before we do anything else, the first thing we need to do is get rid of the security. I've got a YouTube video that shows me how to do that. Set the link for you to use the YouTube
अस्सलाम वालेकुम दोस्तों, वेलकम टू STP ट्यूटोरियल। तो आपको एक annoying
But I'm going to cut to the chase to get rid of all this crap that pops up.
सिक्योरिटी कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस हैं। इसके अंदर हमारे पास दो सबसे पहले हम जाएंगे सर्वर मैनेजर के अंदर। सर्वर मैनेजर डैशबोर्ड, देन लोकल सर्वर में राइट साइड पे हमारे पास IE इनहांस सिक्योरिटी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन।
Turn everything off. So let's do that first. Server manager, local servers, and over here we've got security, turn it off. Okay, that should solve our problem of our browser, that it will just work like a normal browser. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here is go to AnyDesk and install that. So say download. So we need to first install it, yeah. Set a password, enable unattended, saver at 247, capital S saver at 247. just going to copy that. Just to show you what I'm doing. Got all the shortcuts for any desk and clients, and I've copied and pasted one from there. And I just want to replace this with the view settings. That didn't work too well, so I'll just cancel it and do it again. Copy and paste didn't work too well, so let's go back to properties. Just replace this with 405.418.848 /VM 6AE 239E /add illustrator. Okay, so that should do it. Now everybody's got a copy of that. And we can also set up this one, which is correct. So we've got remote access to any desk as well as that as a backup. That's the idea of having the two. Okay, so we can get rid of that. Okay, I'm just going to go back to my list of what I did previously. So we've changed the password. Okay, suppose that should be 2. Okay, we've disabled the security. I'm going to install Chrome. There's another any desk access. I'm just going to install Chrome quickly. And the reason for that is that you've got Chrome AnyDesk built in, which automatically points to the server as well. I'll show you that now, but I'm using it with my login details. Can't have enough backdoor access into the server so that when we need it, we've got it. Sign in over here. Okay, let's enable that on the phone. So I'm just syncing everything on mine. Now if we go to remote desktop, desktop.google, there you can see all my different remote desktops. And that was the one that I had set up. I can delete that because it's not going to work now. And I'm going to install this on this machine here. Okay, so now I'm going to choose a name. I'm going to call this Designer Lighting VPS. And we need a pin here, so I'm using 155051 because that's what I remember. The needs to have the extra characters. Okay, so there I can get access to this machine from my computer. So now we've got 3 methods of connecting to that machine. Get out of there. Okay, let's check at the next step. Okay, I've set up a dynamic address to a name called designer.saverproducts.com, which points to the IP address. So that's already working. So basically we can give that to the client when they want to connect to that device, or we can give them the IP address. The other thing we need to install is Amachi VPN. What I'm going to do is, let me set that up first. I'm going to just copy across the install for Amachi VPN. You can download it, but actually let me try and see if we can download it quickly. So this is default. I don't like downloading from third-party suppliers, so I'd rather just try and find the original site. Irritating. Okay, to make life easier, I'm just going to copy it across from my side. Just find it quickly. So it won't be long. Just trying to remember where I put it. Okay, I've got it somewhere. Copy it. And what I suggest is we use the download folder for everything, where we keep everything. So I'm just pasting it there. The other thing is, while we're waiting for that, so I'll see if I can't share the C drive at the same time. Then we can access this folder directly from your local PC if you have Amachi installed on your side as well. Okay, so I'm going to right click on here. Access. On sharing. Share a C drive. And give permissions to the administrator or make it everybody's fine too. Probably should only give to administrator, but for now let's just do that. Okay, so now let's go and install the Machi. Okay, I have set this up already. This is the second time I'm installing it, so I'm just going to use the existing details. I created an Apache account for designer lighting. Let's just launch that. T47 Tech was what I used. Maybe I said designer lighting. Let's say that products.com. I can't remember what I used. I said I used the client name. Anyway, designer. Okay, well, if you don't know it, we just create a new one. Just by the way, you don't have to actually, let me show you how to do it from scratch. You put an email in. So I'm just going to make a designer at saberproducts.com. Already registered, so it is registered. Login and 247 at tech. Maybe I made a capital T. Okay, so you're going to join the existing network. Let me see what this is on my side. I can't remember. Okay, so the existing network, I made it designer VPS. So the existing network is called designer VPS, and the boss will be 247 at capital TECH. So we join that group, and there we go. So now you can see that I'm connected to that group. This was the original machine, I think, which no longer exists. So don't know what we do about that one, we'll leave it there. But we can now connect on my side. If you have a look here, you'll see that this machine that we're trying to connect to, designer, the main machine, is actually called that IP address over there, 115 at the end. So if I now bring a Explorer window across, just to show you how this works, I now will bring this across to you here, and I'll show you this here. Now this is on my local machine. If I go here and I say // 25.46.210.115, I'm now connecting to that new server directly with Microsoft sharing. And password administrator, and the password is saber at 247, and tell it to remember the password. And there we go. Now I'm logging directly in to that machine, and if I go here, okay, so if we have a look here under users, administrator, there's the desktop, there's the downloads folder. So now we can copy directly from our local computer to this computer over here. You can also save this path now for future, or you can create a shortcut to it by dragging that to your desktop and giving it a name. Then you've always got access to it. Okay, you can't see my desktop because of the screen. I can't move it around. Well, I can do this, I suppose, drag it around, but there's my shortcut to design lighting. And if I go to properties there, and there you can see the path. Okay, so that you've got now. Okay, then I've got another video that I've found on how to set up the multi-user for the VPN. So you can have a look at that one and follow the instructions. I mean, how to set up the remote desktop sessions for multi-users. So you can just follow that instruction. Okay, so I'm going to do that on my side and bring this across to my other screen. Okay, first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 users, 3 or 4 users. Okay, so there you're seeing everything. So first thing, this computer. New user. Let's call this one user 1. 247 at tech. 247 at tech. Cannot change password, and it never expires. User 2. 247 at tech. 247 at tech. Okay, well that gives us 3 sessions. That should be enough. Okay. Okay, we have to go to the Windows firewall. So it's the control panel. Firewall, make sure that it's all off. Now, just so that you know, the VPS has its own firewall as well, over and above, like a physical firewall on the controllers, over and above the Windows itself. So by opening up the firewall, it doesn't make us vulnerable. Okay, the next thing is to go to the computer settings, system, which is not there, it's easier from here. Go to system, go to far into remote settings, make sure that that's enabled, and select users that are allowed to get access. Okay, then we need to go and add roles. So we go here to manage, add roles and features. So next, next, next again, and then come down here to remote access, remote desktop, sorry. That one is the remote desktop, should be good. And then we just choose remote desktop session hosting, add features, and then next. Install. Then close that, and close everything else, but now we're going to have to restart that computer. Then restart and unplan restart, yes. Okay, so now that that's happened, I think what I'll do now is I'll try and start it up with the AnyDesk instead of the remote desktop. Okay, so now I'm connecting with AnyDesk. Try to auto login. Let me just try the other route. Back to remote desktop. Okay, so I'm back up and running. Let's just have a look if the AnyDesk works. I'm not sure of the address, so then go back to shortcut. It looks right. So we got 190 days for the remote desk to have a problem with the license. Okay, there we go. So with AnyDesk, we have to click over here and say remote control delete to get into the login screen. And if we go to administrator, or at least better still, let's go to user 1 and 247 tech, just to show we're getting multiple screens going in. Okay, there we go. So we could customize the screen with Sabre specifically for those particular users. We can even make a shortcut on somebody's desktop that they can log directly into Sabre without going into anything else. Okay, so that's all good. There we go. So there's the two logins that we've got at the moment. You can see the ones with AnyDesk, the other ones with remote desktop. Okay. Well, the other thing we need to do is install the crack or the hack, whatever you want to call it, for the unlimited AnyDesk sessions. And I have a link to that over here, okay, which I can share as well. But there is a problem with updates when it comes to doing that, updates on Windows. So I think it's important to disable the updates first before we do anything else, which is this video over here explains how to remove the automatic updates. So I think that's the first step to do.
Sometimes faster is better.
Okay, so there's the removal of updates permanently for Windows 10 and downloading policy that quickly. So the first thing is services. What I'm going to do to make life a bit easier as well is I'm going to open this, but then I'm going to link it so that it stays permanently at the bottom here, because that's where we need the access to it. Okay. Now, the thing to
the
look for
updates
here
if you
with
want to.
Windows,
So just go into search and type
just go file
services
quickly.
and open up.
Look for Windows updates. There we go, Windows update. Make that disable. Stop it. Disable this as well. Once you've gone to there, also go to recovery over here and change that to take no action and apply that. And also make this 0 days. Okay, the next thing to do is to go into regedit. Open that. Okay, so on here we're going to go to local machine, software, policies, Microsoft. Okay, so in here we want to put updates if it doesn't exist already. So we right click, say new, string. Okay, so it's a new string, I mean a new key, sorry. So we get new key and Windows update. Okay, so just make sure that's under Microsoft, Windows, and then Windows update. So in here we need another folder called AU. If it isn't there, create AU, and then right click on AU and say new dword 32-bit value and type in AU options as you see it here. Then you can double click on that and give that a value of 2. Okay, so now you can close that. Now we're going to look at another thing that will just make sure that it doesn't do updates. Okay, so now you go back here and you say GP editor, which is the group policy editor. You click on that. Okay, so from here you go to Windows configuration. Under Windows configuration, administrative templates, Windows components. So make this full. Then pull down over here till you see Windows updates. Okay. And then on the right hand side, look for configure automatic updates. It says not configured at the moment, and disable that. Okay, so we're finished with that, so we can close that. Now you want to go into Task Scheduler. And click on that. Now you'll click on Task Schedule Library, Microsoft, and Windows. Just make this a bit bigger. Pull down on this a bit. Have a look for Windows Update. Now whatever you see in here that's related to Windows, you can just either right click and just disable, or you can click on the side here where it says disable. So just disable those updates. Okay, then from there you can look further up on the field here, you'll see Update Orchestrator. Click on that one. And just check if you've got anything in here that looks like Update Assistant or anything here that updates, just disable them as well. There's nothing here. Maintenance installs disabled. Yeah, I think everything here is alright. This mainly is related to Windows 10. Okay, now let's see if there's another app we can close that one. There's another one that you can run as well called AppWiz, which is also Windows 10 related, so I don't think it'll come up here. And so not to worry for 2019 server. Okay, here it is, appwiz.cpl. So let's just try that one. Okay, now you're coming over here and just check if you've got anything here like a Windows Update Assistant or anything like that that you can remove. Like I say, that is referred to with Windows 10, not so much with Windows Server, but I'm just showing you anyway. Okay, so that's that. I think yeah, the only other thing now left is really to save it across and install it and set it up and get it working. And then I can show you how to do the port forwarding and everything. I think I'll do that on other videos, but that's the basics of the server itself. And also just to do maybe I should just do the cracking of the multiple remote desktops first while we're still here. Okay, so now I'm just copying the this is one of the other servers that I've got set up, the VPS 2, and the RDP wrap is the hack or the crack to sort out the licensing for the remote desktop to have unlimited users. And there's the Saber Retail as well, but I'm going to make sure I've got the latest installed. Anyway, so I'll just copy that across to this machine, and once that's copied across, I'll show you how to install it. Okay, so the first step is to install, which is this option at the top here. Right click and run it as an administrator. Now we lost our connection. And logically we lost our connection because we should be going in with any desk, not with remote desktop, because we're going to be changing remote desktop. So let me get in with any desk and come back to you. Okay, well we logged back in with the remote desktop. So we'll just see how this goes. But yeah, if you look there, it's loaded everything and it seems to be successful. So we close that. The best thing to do now is to do a RDP config. And with RDP config, you'll see that error came up, not supported. That shows that there's still a problem with the licensing or with the system. And you can change this to GUI authentication only or network level authentication. I think it's better on GUI. But yeah, allow to start. Okay, so anyway, allow to start custom programs. I suppose that's also a good one to have ticked. and we could hide the user on login screens. Anyway, so we can leave all of that like that, but the thing is to fix this, and to fix this I'll explain to you how that's done now. Anyway, so that's basically it. RTP library installer, let's just install that as well. I think that's it. Anyway, so I'll come back to now how to fix it. Okay, so just on our last point, this is the RDP wrapper. I've had it working once or twice, but for some reason I can't seem to get it working again. It seems that the this INR file can change from time to time, and that's what this update does. When this update is run, it looks for the latest INR file and it replaces it. Anyway, so also a lot of the websites talk about it. You run this to see whether it's working. Okay, and this is the problem I have: not supported. Everything else is right. The wrapper's installed, the service is running, the listening is happening, but it's not supported because of the versions or the updates. I've disabled the updates and I've tried a few things. The other thing that I've been instructed to do is to find an older term serve.dll file and replace it, and I've done that in the past and I think that's what made it work, but now I don't know which version of the DLL I need to run. Anyway, but it's all working, and for designer lighting it's perfect because they only need one access into it anyway, and there's no problem. I think we get two logins by default, so we've got the administrator and we've got their login. It's just where we've got multiple logins that we're going to have a problem to get licensing for multiple logins. Anyway, so I think all that needs to happen now is that we need the Sabre to be installed and the port forwarding, which I'll do in a different video.